Hello, welcome back. We are going to continue with the PHP tutorials on the login system for beginners. So let's start. Here is where we got up to. We created the database. The name was PHP login and it has only one table. And these are the columns, okay, the fields. As you can see, it's blank. So in this video, we are going to learn how to insert data into the database using our form. Okay, so let's go to localhost /php login. Okay, and then this form is what we had in the previous video. Okay, so let's go into the codes. When somebody click on this submit button, we are sending a post request, okay, here, and then the request will be sent to this file, process.php file, this one. Okay, so let's click this file. We have already included the linking or let's say connecting file, that is the db connect.php. We have linked it and we did that in the previous video. So if you have doubt about it, you go and watch that video again. Okay, so what we are saying is that when somebody click on this button, then the post request must go to this process.php, and it is a post request because we are going to insert data in a database, which means that the data must be kept private because it has some data like a data password and other credentials. So because of that, it must be put here post. If you don't put post here and we put here get, when somebody enter data here and click on submit, all the data that the person type will be shown here. Okay, which is not nice. So because of that, we must put all the data in a private. That's why we have put here post. That's why we are using post request here. Okay, so now I hope it's clear. Now let's go into the process.php file and do the coding there. Okay, so we have a special function in PHP called if a set, or let's say a set. Okay, so if is set, and the if is set means that when somebody click on a button, and in this case it is our button, this one. So when somebody click on this button, we will copy the name. Okay, so if it's set, it means we'll come here and we're going to use post global variable. This one, post global variable, and this one will have the name of the submit, this name. Okay, so when it's set, when somebody click on this, it goes to this process.php. Okay, it means it has set here, and then we do something. What are we going to do? We are going to grab all the data coming from the database, sorry, from the client side, into variables so that we can use them. So let's do that. Let's create variable. The first one is going to be f name. Okay, first name, and it's going to be let's say, let's use global variable post again. So post of what? Post of this, the f name, this one. So let's copy this one, the f name, come here and put it here. Okay, and then let's end it with semicolon. I want to trim the data, so let's put trim here, and this trim will prevent any person from typing an empty space. When somebody come here and maybe type empty space and submit, if you don't put a trim there, the empty space will be sent in our database, which is very, very bad. That's why we are using the trim here. So whatever you type here as empty space, it will just trim it. Okay, it will bring it back automatically. Okay, so let's continue with the rest of the inputs that are coming. So I want to copy this one triple times or multiple times. Okay, then I'll have the F name, I'll have the last name, the L name. Okay, the L name. And again, this L name is coming from this one. Okay, the next one will be going to be the email. So the email, then the variable will be email. The next one I think to be gender. Okay, so gender, copy. And the variable will be also email, sorry, gender. Then the next one will be password. So password. Then the next one will be C password. So let me copy this password here and paste it here. C password. Here too will be C password. So let me copy this one, C password. Okay, so now we have been able to grab all the data coming from the client side and store them in this variable. So we'll use them later on. Okay, so now let's check if the two passwords are not matching. Let's insert the data validation. Okay, so if password is not equal to C password, then do something. Prompt alert message to the user that the password he has typed do not match. So we are going to use alert. For the alert, we are going to divide the PHP. Okay. I am using some extension, that's why mine is coming automatically. If your is not coming, you can type it, it's the same thing. Then we put script here. After the video, I'll do tutorials on how to use some good and cool extension for VS Code. Okay, so alert, then we say passwords do not match. Okay, and then let's send the data the user back to the sign up page. So window dot open, and then we send him or her to the same sign up page, index.php, and you want to do it in the same or on the same page. So let's put underscore self here. Okay, so by doing this, we have checked data validation for the same passwords input. Okay, or same password input. Let's move on. Then the next one we are going to check is we are going to check whether the password type is correct or the password that the user will type is valid one. Okay, so that one too is not difficult to do. So we are saying that if filter var, this is a function in PHP. that is used to check whether the email is valid. So let's type that one. So if filter underscore var, this one will take two parameters. The first one is going to be the email that we type, the email. The second one is going to take another PHP default function called filter in capitals, okay? Filter underscore validate email. Okay, so this statement is checking if the email is correct or the syntax is correct. Okay, it's valid email. But I want to check, I want to put the validation here if the email is not. So let's make it negation sign here. So we are saying that if the email is not a valid email, then prompt this message to the user. Okay, and the message will change. Let's make it to be invalid email. Invalid email, and you will still send the user back to the index page again. Okay, then after that you also check if the email is already in the database. So for that one, unless we go into our database, we have already linked the connection, so we can do that one. Okay, so let's do that. So let's create variable and call it email check. You can call these variables any name that you want. Okay, and let's put some SQL codes here, SQL codes here. Okay, so insert, select, we're going to select star from users where email is equal to the email that we are going to type. Okay, so this email, so we can put limit 1 here, limit 1. If you get one resource, you should stop, otherwise it will continue searching. We don't want to do that, so limit 1 is okay. Then after that, we query the data. Okay, we query this data here, so let's put it in the resource. So resource is equal to my SQLi underscore query, and it will take two parameters. The first one is going to be the con, the second one is going to be the check email, or let's say email check. Okay, email check, this one. Okay, and somebody will ask where from this con. This con is from here. Okay, when we connected this to our database, we connected the site to database, we used this variable. Okay, and now we have included this file. We have included this file here. Okay, so we have the con here as well, so we can use it. Okay, so let's continue. So if my SQLi underscore number of rows of resource, okay, resource is greater than 0, it means the data, the email is already in the database. If it happens, Then the same thing, let's bring our friend here. The alert will come. Okay, the alert will come. Let me close this one. Sorry for that. The alert will come, and then the message will be email already exists. Okay, and then still we will bring the user back to the sign up page. Okay, and if all is working and there's no errors, then we can go ahead and insert the data. Okay, so let's put it in a variable, that statement. So insert is equal to insert into users. And what are we inserting, or what columns are we inserting? We are inserting these columns: the first name, the last name, the username, and then the password. Okay, we are inserting that column. So let's copy them. You can type them, but if you want to have exact names, you can copy them as well. So after you copy, please, if you copy, then make sure that you bring comma here in between each column. Bring comma. Okay, otherwise there will be errors for you. Okay, so you can do that. And what are we inserting? Values. And what values? We are going to insert these values. These ones, the the variables that we put the input that is coming inside. So the f name, the last name, and other stuff. Okay, so let's say f name. Then after that, dollar l name. Then please put them in a single quotation mark, otherwise it will not work. The next one is going to be the, let me see whether it is the genders. So after last name, email. Please, whatever is here must match here. For this one, you can decide not to let it match exactly. You can make this one not match exactly, but when you come here, whatever is here must match this one. Otherwise, it will become different in the database. What data you want to put in the specific column will not be that. Okay. So after that, you create the gender. So because here is gender, you put gender here. Okay. Then after the gender, you put password. Okay. Please, we don't insert the confirm password. It's just to check the data validation, but it's not to be inserted in the database. Okay. So let's query this. Let's put the query in a database, sorry, a variable again. So insert query, and it's going to be my SQLi underscore query. And I hope you can guess by now to take the con variable, and also to take this insert variable. Okay, so now you can see that if insert query, meaning if this thing is able to insert in the database. Okay, if insert query, then you should also prompt the user that your data has been inserted. So let's change the message to be data inserted successfully. Okay, then let's bring the user or let's send the user to the login page so that he can log in. Login.php, and it should be done on the same page. So we are bringing underscore self here. I have already created the login page, as you can see here. Okay, so when I click inside, you can see I've put some basic HTML here. I'm saying that welcome to login page. Okay, just to show that these codes are actually working. Okay, so now I think we have finished. So let's test and see if it will work for us. So let's go to localhost. localhost/php login. Okay, then let's type my name, Anson Isaac. Email, let me use this one. Okay, let me change the email. Let me make it wrong email. Validation. Okay, password, and then let me use correct password. In this case, the password or the input type, I've put test there, but I will change it to be the password so that we can see whatever is here. But for now, let's see it. Let's look at it. Okay, so if I come here, the password type must not be text. Okay, but you do that in the subsequent videos. Okay, so now let's click and see. As you can see, invalid email. Back to the sign up page again. Okay, correct, it is working. Isaac email, let's put correct email there. Okay, and then let's put wrong password matching. Okay, and click. You can see password do not match. It's also working, meaning the data is not entering. Okay, now I want to do something here. The mail. Okay, so the mail, the gender too, okay, is there. Everything is working. So let's now insert actual data and see if it will work. Isaac, then I have put the email, the mail, let's say 1234 1234, submit. The email already exists. Why email already exists? Okay, let's change the email. Maybe it has inserted for the first one. So let's make here to be 2 again, then mail 1234 submit. Okay, data inserted successfully. Correct. So now you see it has sent the user back to the login page. Everything is working. So let's browse and see if we have data inside. Okay, so we have data. Okay, which means that all this data were inserted. So I'll end here. The next video we are going to create the login page. This one we'll create it here. Okay, so that the user can log in actually, and then we will add some features like the what do you call it, the um, nav bar. Okay, so that navigation will be easy. And also when somebody log in, you should see log out again. So we create logout page too. When somebody log out, you should not see the logout again. You should see login or sign up. Okay, so all that stuff we do them in the next video. Thank you for watching, and let's end here.